Hello. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook a pork chop right on the coals. I posted that short video of my trip out cooking pork chops on coals. I got a lot of questions. So I want to show you how I do it. And I've always had success. So I just want to go over a few tips to doing it. Now you got to remember that coals are basically, hold on, black fly in the mouth. Coals are basically a medium heat. Flames are a high heat. I was always taught that you cook nothing on high heat. The only thing you do on high heat is boil water, basically. That's what I was always taught. I do a lot of cooking at home, in the bush and such, and my mother taught me really young how to cook because it's a useful skill. Now, basically, I'm going to cook on coals because it's a medium heat. Wow, there's a lot of bugs here right now. They just came out. There's a lot of mosquitoes, or black flies actually. So I'm going to get this fire going. Everything is very damp. Even the birch bark is wet. So this is going to be, a little bit trickier than normal. But we'll see if we can get some of this prepared up and light this. I'm going to light it with my ferro rod because all I brought out here today was my knife set. The SH37 and the 13. Ignore me swatting black flies, please. Now, with this knife set, I have a ferro rod right with it. So I have all my cutting tools and, combustion device right with me at all times. Here's a bunch of fine birch bark. So see if we can get that going. Then I can add the other to it. Now this stuff is soaked. And of course, the same thing as always, just got to get that right spark. There we go. Like I said, you just got to get that right spark. Set that right over like this. Then I'm going to take all this big bundle right here, all at once. Once the flames start coming up through, I'm going to set that right on. Just like that. Sometimes it takes more strikes than usual. I could have prepared it better, but that's normally what I do. I ain't worried about how many strikes I have to take. If I'm conserving my ferro rod, then I do, of course. Then you want to make sure that you get it in the least amount of strikes you can. So right now, I just want to get a coal base. So this stuff's damp. Bring it up. You can see how damp that is. Look at the color comparison. It's damp wood. But being on that right there, it will dry out and it should burn okay. There goes the black flies. Coat yourself in smoke and it will sometimes help with the bugs. But now they're gone. Going to let that burn down. I've got some birch here, a dead birch tree that I found as well. That was a couple inches at the base. I broke that up. Now I'm going to let that burn down, and that should be all I need. I brought out just one pork chop. It's a pork loin chop, and it's about a ½ inch thick. Now this method is good because if you have no pots and you're lost, you can cook any kind of game meat the same way on these coals. Just cut it up so it's at least, you know, I'd go a ½ inch thick. That way there, it don't take as long to cook, and you have less chance of burning it. Okay, what I'm going to do is take this, put a half kind of loop in it, go around 3 or 4 times, and stick this through that loop like that, and then since that's in there, I can pull down on that part and it locks it in underneath. And now I got a set of tongs. You can see most of the flames have died out, so I'm just going to lay that right on top, right there. Now right now, there's going to be stuff that's going to stick to it. The pieces of coals and such are going to stick to that right now. But I just leave it. That's the thing, right now, you leave it. You'll start seeing the color change in the meat. And you'll see the juices start coming up through this side. As long as you do not have that too hot right there, where there's flames getting to it, you should be fine. I'm going to leave that right there until the colors start changing and I'll start seeing juices come up through. This is a hotter spot on the other side. Put your hand over it. You can see how that's cooking. Put your hand over it and you can hold it there. You know, I can hold that pretty well indefinitely. Put it there, you hold it for about 3 seconds, it starts getting hot, real hot. Then you know that's a better temperature. This here would basically be a low heat. I usually let it cook myself. I let it cook until I start seeing the meat kind of change. And then I know it's all the way through, because I like all my meat to a point that it's done. It don't have to be well done, but it's got to be done. It's got to be cooked all the way through. Okay, well that's got the edges done. I'm going to flip this, move this piece out, I'm going to lay it right there. You can see that you can brush most of this stuff right off. Now, I'll leave it there until it's cooked. You'll start seeing a little bit of juices coming up through this side. See the juices right here starting to come out. I'm going to slice in that and check it. She's almost done. You can still see a little bit of pink right there. So I'm going to leave that on there. As you can see, it's almost done. But you see these juices coming out? That's what you want to see. You can see here that sticks, but this wipes right off. Especially when the juices get on it like this one here is. And you got to remember that whatever ash is left on that, it actually acts as an antacid. And in small doses, they have taken it for upset stomach, for heartburn and such. But that's what I've read, and I've tried it before. But, you know, do your own research about that stuff. Didn't make a huge bed of coals, so it's not real hot. So it slowly cooked it. It's been about 15 minutes or so. But I'll bring that up. Let you take a look at it. You can see that, and if you look right in there, it's cooked all the way through. There's no pink left. So I'm going to cut it up. Over here, I have a piece of birch bark that was falling off the tree. So I just took that and basically going to use that for a plate. Just got a stick that I sharpened that I can poke it. Yeah. Check this out. Done. Very nice. Still going to be juicy. There you go. It's cooked well. Just on the, just about perfect. There's no pink, but it's just beyond the pink stage. So, it'll be nice and juicy. It's not cooked beyond where it's dry. You can take a little bit off. I'm in the bush. I don't worry about it. So there it is. Yes, it's got some ash on it. If you don't like ash, I wouldn't suggest you trying this. It doubles the flavor of the pork, in my opinion. You got some smoke flavor to it. Good stuff. I'm going to eat up and hope this gives you some tips, and try it. Give it a try. Just remember, put your hand over the coals. You want to be able to hold it there, 5 to 3 seconds. And then you can't hold it there no longer, kind of deal. That there gives you a good medium heat. Don't cook in the flames. You can, but you're going to cook the outside and the inside's going to be raw. So for a nice even kind of cook, you want to be able to hold your hand there 3 to 5 seconds kind of deal, and that should be good. Hope this helps, and I hope it answers a lot of questions. Thanks again.